Hello everybody, how's it going? We are here with a timeless reading. Before we get started, let's set the intention for this to be a space where everyone allows themselves to feel seen and validated, and ultimately for this to be a safe space and a healing space in alignment with everyone's highest good. What I'm seeing is that there is a change coming about, and it seems like you may need to make a choice that's associated with this change, or even it can even be like admitting to seeing that this is happening, or that this is like asking to happen through you surrendering maybe to a situation. But there can be some resistance. I get the feeling of like, I'm not ready yet. That's not to say you're not ready, because like you may very well be ready, but you may not be perceiving yourself as being ready at this point, or it may just be something that you've been maybe putting off. It's because this would have to do with like a big shift. And part of you may be like, well, I'm comfortable, even if something is dysfunctional, so it can just be... Okay. That decision that needs to be made, need to make it now. Well, you can do whatever you want. You don't need to make it now if you don't want to, but I'm seeing your guides be like, why haven't you done anything about this yet? It's like you were on the other end of on the other line, on the phone with them, and you like put it down and just walked away from it, like didn't finish that conversation. They're like, hello, are you still there? I'm seeing that you got this. There's absolutely nothing to worry about. You're gonna do it, everything's gonna be fine. Look. Everything's gonna be fine. That's the 10 of Cups here. You're gonna do what needs to be done. You're gonna feel really happy about it. It's gonna feel like a big deal, but it's all gonna be good. This is helping pull you out of something that you don't need to be a part of anymore. Could be transitioning out of that. This is going to make a very big impact. It will feel like a big impact on the trajectory of things, even though you were going to be going this way anyway. But it would feel very different, like what you were doing before versus what you're going to be doing now, is what I'm seeing. Maybe even pulling you out of some sort of sticky situation you don't want to be a part of any longer. It's like maybe a karmic loop that you're like, I've listened to this enough, I don't want to play it again. I'm hearing something about seeing the differences. Maybe seeing the difference that something makes. You may be looking into like how things are changed, or what you may need to surrender to, or even with the Death card, sometimes we can be asked to shed things, and it can be on many different levels. Like sometimes it's psychologically needing to shed something. Sometimes it's emotionally needing to shed something. Sometimes it's materially needing to shed something. Many different ways, but it's just making room for more evolving to happen, for there to be more growth. I'm seeing also too, you really, really tuning in, keying into what your intuition tells you, and all of the ways that you connect with your intuition and get messages. It's going to be pivotal at this point. It's going to make this a more smooth transition, is what I'm getting. I'm seeing a lot of purple here. Yeah, you're going to be working hand in hand with the High Priestess, which can be somebody that's a guide for you, but it can also just be you guiding yourself through your connection with your higher self. It doesn't need to be someone outside of you, just to clarify. It's some sort of conduit for you to, a vehicle for you to connect with your higher self and your intuitive knowing. I'm seeing something here about a collaboration, but again, this can be coming back to you with you. It doesn't have to be someone outside of yourself, but it can be. It can be somebody that's like a vehicle of sorts, a guide for you even. There may be, I'm seeing something here that you're going forward with. But there can be like something or someone in the environment that, hold on, I want to pull up this person's energy. You just want to do what's making you happy here. Because what I'm seeing is that there can be some energies around you and you have to decide like whether or not they're like worth keeping around at this point or keeping within the environment, and whether or not they're going to distract you from what you're trying to accomplish. So there may be a bit of a weeding out that you're doing if necessary. This can also be you checking in with yourself and maybe just checking yourself with something if you feel like you need to stop doing something. This would be like a behavior that you feel could be distracting you from the point of what you're trying to accomplish here, whether it be yourself or somebody around you. You just want to make sure that it's sort of doing what you need it to be doing. As far as what you're trying to do here. But yeah, I'm seeing you like really go for something that you feel like is going to be worth it for you, and you just want to keep checking in with your intuition and make sure that it actually is. Okay. Nice balance here. I'm looking at the High Priestess above the Hierophant. These are counterpart energies. This is a bringing together of something very important being brought into balance with itself. Like two poles being brought into balance with these two energies. It's the feminine and the masculine. This feels like something very, like a deeply spiritual process for you. Like connecting with your guides, connecting with yourself. Making sure that you're in the spot that you want to be in. Okay, so a decision needs to be made about something about working together. But you just want to really ask yourself if the things that you want to keep moving towards the things that you feel are really fulfilling for you. Meaning they're like doing something for you emotionally, internally. I'm seeing that be the big focus here. Like I'm not seeing an external focus, even though this has to do with things externally that you're doing. The main point is that you're going after things that you actually want, that are actually doing something for you on the inside. And what I'm seeing is that before you may have had I'm hearing a more lax approach, but I'm seeing it be a more, like Knight of Wands can be, you go after something that you want, and if it doesn't work immediately, getting frustrated and like throwing your hands up, like not being willing to do things in the proper way that they need to be done. So something here is changing where if something is going to be worth it to you enough to take the time to go after it, I'm seeing that be why it's important to make sure that it's something that's really worth it to you. So you're willing to like fight for it and go for it, like as if you're embracing fire energy here. And this is leading by your passion and your voice as far as the decisions that you're making and your ambition and just being like brave and going ahead with things. And I'm hearing volunteering. And you know that this is going to be worth it to you because it's your 10 of Cups. So you're like, this brings me something that I feel like I want or I need or I want to be a part of or I want to connect with. Things like that. That's why this is important here. So if you just keep that in your focus, it's going to allow other things to fall away that need to fall away, that may not allow you to get to where you're trying to go or may create some sort of barrier. And I'm also seeing there be this reevaluation of your values, actually. I get this feeling of like, how much do you think that you're worth? It's something like that. And I don't think that that's necessarily a literal thing, although it can be. But I see this as being, it's connected with lots of different things. It doesn't just have to be like actual money. It's like, what type of environment do you want to be in? Who do you want to be working with? What do you want those situations to look like? What are your expectations for what it is that you're going into? Also, resources can be involved in it, but also like one of your resources is your energy. Your main resource is your energy. So you have to make sure that like energetically it's the type of exchange that you want it to be. And that it like meets the criteria essentially. Because I'm seeing you do have particular values that are going to be important to you that this connects with. Which you're learning about. I'm seeing you also learning how to use the tools that are available to you that you have to tap into. For some of you, this is something new that you're going to be a part of. For some of you, this has to do with a person that you are learning about. Through working with this person, there's a lot that you are going to be learning as far as what you feel like is going to bring you happiness within a connection. Maybe like currently what you're looking for. And I'm seeing you done with this old energy. Like before, you could have had people around that were around for a good time, not a long time. And I'm seeing that not be something you want any longer. Like looking for something of more depth. Something that's more internally connected rather than externally connected. I'm seeing there be a switch here. Like leaning into something else. But yeah, you may have somebody coming through that, I'm hearing rocks the boat a little bit. Whoever this is that's coming through for you, you just want to make sure that that your values align and that you're communicating your expectations. I'm seeing this be very important, which means that you need to know what these are so that you can communicate it. Because if you're not reflecting on your values, meaning there's like a lack of awareness of them, then you're not able to like use your discernment in the way that you need to. First, you need to know what your values are. Then when somebody comes through, you'll know whether or not they like meet the criteria, essentially, whether or not they are compatible with your values. So then you'll know right away, is this going to work for me or is this not going to work for me? But the error that happens many times is that people are not sure of their values, which is okay because you learn through your experiences anyway. However, it can really save you if you're thinking about it beforehand, because then you know you can check somebody at the door when they come through, rather than you let them in and then you're checking them afterwards and now you have to kick them back out again because it's not working. Or they've stayed already, so even though I know this is not working, I'm just going to let them stay now. You know how we get into that? So this is going to allow you to avoid all of that, because I'm seeing some new energies that are going to be coming in and you want to make sure that they're aligned with you, because I'm seeing vast opportunities for you here. So it even seems like you're checking people out is what I'm seeing. And I don't know what this is for. Like for some of you, this could be a partnership, but for some of you, this is for a collab that you want to do, is what I'm seeing. And you don't want somebody that's just going to be in and out. And you may have somebody that's really passionate, but they're not going to follow through. And so you need to make sure that they know what it is and that you guys are approaching this from the same space. I'm getting something about methodology, that you guys share something in common so that you guys can like work together properly. but I'm seeing it almost be like checking people's resumes or something like that. And that can be like on a metaphorical level, but some of you, this is literal, because I'm actually seeing you be in like a boss sort of energy here. Something that like you're in charge of, whatever the ship is. You're definitely the one steering it. So anyway, yeah, I'm seeing you be like checking people out. For some of you, there's someone from the past that's going to be returning, but for others of you, this isn't the case. The whole point of this, what I'm seeing is that your guides are saying right now you want to review the relationships that you had in the past, both the ones that were aligned with your values and the ones that were not aligned with your values, to get a clear picture of what your values are, so you don't have to repeat any karmic patterns that you don't want to repeat again. And that's basically the whole point of why you're looking at this, because I'm seeing somebody come through approaching you and being like, hey, I have this opportunity. So again, for some of you, it's like to work with you. For others of you, they want to be with you. They want to connect with you in some sort of way. There could be a little bit of a clashing. I'm seeing two masculine energies here. You may not be... this person would actually probably end up listening to you, because I'm seeing you be in the more like senior role here. Okay. Moon and or Venus, Taurus, Gemini, Scorpio. So it can be Scorpio, Gemini, Taurus, Moon, Scorpio, Gemini, Taurus, Venus. There can be other people that relate to this reading without those placements, but I'm seeing them particularly being highlighted here. I'm also seeing Pluto as well. This just feels like learning from what you've already been through, so you're not inviting a repeat. But also, if you're inviting a repeat, it just means that you didn't extract what you needed to extract before, and so you'll just be going through a repeat cycle. It kind of reminds me of like when you get to a point where you're like, I don't want to go through this again, like I'm changing internally, and then you sort of have this same situation pop up, and there can be this part of you that's like, if I really changed, why is this same situation popping up again? But it's actually just an opportunity for you to make a different choice to show that you actually have changed, and that you're trying to like magnetize something else towards you. And so it's kind of like you're being retested, because the change happens within you. The change doesn't happen externally. So this can feel like a retesting energy to see, are you going to do the same thing you did last time and have to go through that again? Or are you going to make a different choice this time? If it is something that you don't want to repeat. And that's basically what's going to be happening here. So you have to ask yourself, like, what, as far as what you know of yourself and what you remember of yourself, what feels empowering as far as moves that you want to be making here and making the choice. Because it seems like you know what you want to do. It's just about going through with it and doing what you want to do. And not holding back. And also too, if you do have somebody returning from the past and you're wondering like if they've changed or if they haven't changed, you have to ask yourself what happened in the past that was not compatible with you, and find out whether that thing is the thing that changed. Like, let's say in the past all you wanted was somebody to take out the garbage on Wednesdays, and like this person would never take out the garbage on Wednesdays. You have to review and be like, okay, what was the problem in the past? Oh yeah, they didn't take the garbage out on Wednesdays. And so now that they're coming through, you have to talk to them and be like, so are we compatible at this point? Like, are you willing to take the garbage out on Wednesdays, or are you still not that type of Wednesday garbage taking out person? You know, like that. So basically that's what needs to be done. Otherwise, you're just going to be in a repeat situation, and you need to just use your discernment and follow your intuition, because your values are very important to you. And so you have to make choices that are aligned with your values if you want to be in compatible situations. So you're not feeling undervalued, because whether we like it or not, we have expectations for our relationships, and we do have values within our relationships, and it's not something that you can control. It's something that you can get to know and understand, so you can have more smooth relationships, and so you can know what's going to be worth your time and energy, and what's going to have you feeling like, I'm pouring all of this into it, getting nothing back, and I feel like this is just reinforcing my low self-esteem. Like that. Okay? Because, and this is the thing, you want to check into your thinking, because if you are in a space where you're like, everybody treats me terribly, and you're just like reinforcing this situation to happen, it's just because you're setting it up like that. So if you want to be in a situation where somebody treats you right, you have to know how you expect to be treated, and then make sure that what that person's showing up with is compatible with what that is for you. Because if it's not, you're just setting yourself up to reinforce these like negative beliefs that you may have about yourself, of like, you don't deserve a partner that really shows up for you. Whether this be, again, like a working situation, a friendship, somebody romantically in your life, whatever it may be. Okay, I think that's the end of this reading. We will leave it here. I would like to thank everybody for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. And I will say this too. Just because another person is not compatible with your values, it doesn't make them bad or wrong or anything like that. They just have different values than you, and they just show up in a different way. So they can be compatible with another person. They're just not compatible with you. And that's not right or wrong or bad or good or anything like that. It's just, it is compatible or it's not. We don't need to assign value to it, because that's where it's going to get you tripped up and have you feeling angry, like somebody should be something that they're not, when we're really trying to move towards a space where we can be loving and accepting of everybody and where they are, and respect their journey as you want yours respected and honored. And that's why it's also important to communicate. Okay? I want to thank everybody for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm wishing everybody love and light and healing, and I hope to catch you guys next time.